This is the Voice of the Worker, bringing you the news for May 23rd, 2025. This news is current as of 2100 Pacific Daylight Time, midnight Eastern Daylight Time, 0500 British Summer Time, 0700 Moscow Standard Time, and 1200 China Standard Time. I regret to inform you that due to technical difficulties, today's broadcast of The Voice of the Worker will not include any musical breaks. We hope to have these issues fixed as soon as possible. Thank you again. China and the United States have pledged to keep communication channels open during high-level talks this week, even as trade and technology disputes test bilateral relations. Chinese officials reiterated calls for mutual respect while condemning Washington's latest chip restrictions as a form of economic coercion. During a call early this morning, Chinese Vice Foreign Minister Mao Zhaohu and U.S. Deputy Secretary Christopher Landau agreed to maintain dialogue during this phone conversation, according to the Chinese Foreign Ministry. Earlier, Ma met new U.S. Ambassador David Perdeau in Beijing, stressing China's red lines on sovereignty and developmental interest. This also comes as Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi told the U.S.-Asia Society that progress in trade talks proves that equal dialogue works. Beijing's consistent stance remains that the three principles of mutual respect, peaceful coexistence, and win-win cooperation must be upheld. Turning our attention to the special military operation, Russia has announced it will soon present a draft peace proposal to Ukraine, marking a potential breakthrough after continued stalled negotiations. The development follows a major prisoner swap and renewed dialogue in Istanbul, the first face-to-face talks between the two sides since 2022. However, with Kiev demanding an immediate ceasefire and Moscow pushing for a comprehensive settlement, the path to peace remains fraught with challenges. The key takeaways from this week is the 1,000 military detainee prisoner swap from each side, which has already begun. This is the largest exchange since the beginning of the conflict. Again, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov confirmed that Moscow is finalizing the document based on last week's Istanbul talks, stating, quote, "We will hand it to Ukraine once the swap concludes," end quote. President of the Russian Federation, Vladimir Putin, noted that coordination did take place between Moscow and Washington after Donald Trump urged direct talks, yet there were no American mediators that attended the Istanbul meetings. The gulf between the two sides remains very large, with Ukraine insisting on an immediate ceasefire, a condition that has been rejected by Russia, knowing that it would allow the Kiev regime to rearm and reorganize its troops. The Russian stance being that they remain hopeful in the creation of a lasting settlement that addresses the root causes of the conflict, the reality on the ground, and includes security guarantees for the Russian Federation. This comes as President Vladimir Putin has ordered the Russian military to establish what he referred to as a security buffer zone along the Ukraine border, a move Moscow says is necessary to stop cross-border strikes targeting Russian civilians. The announcement follows a surge in Ukrainian drone attacks and a deadly rocket strike on the Russian town of Lvov, which left 12 wounded, including children. This plan from the Russian president was first proposed back in March of 2024, but in a recent statement by Putin is now being what he referred to as actively implemented. A restored high relief of late Soviet leader Joseph Stalin has reappeared in Moscow's Tunguskaya metro station, 6 decades after its original removal. The original statues were removed in 1966 during the Soviet de-Stalinization period, but have now been reinstated in their former form. Carnations were laid at the site by Communist Party members and other Marxist-Leninists across the country, echoing gestures seen at other Stalin monuments across Russia's various regions. Many believed that the Moscow Metro, a Stalin-era project known for its grand size, serves as a symbolic location to restore in his honor. For many young Russians, Stalin and the Communist Party represents order and national achievement in their eyes. This is occurring amid modern uncertainty. This isn't Moscow's first Stalin controversy, as in 2009, restored Soviet anthem lyrics at the Krutskaya station praising Stalin triggered protest from anti-communists in Russia. Finally, according to a report from RT News, the Trump administration has taken steps to prevent Harvard University from enrolling international students. This move, which was announced yesterday, involves revoking Harvard's access to the Student and Exchange Visitor Information System, which is necessary for admitting foreign students. The Department of Homeland Security, under Kristi Noem, claims this action is due to Harvard's alleged failure to address what they call anti-Semitism on campus. Currently, a federal judge in Boston has issued a temporary injunction to block the ban on foreign students following a lawsuit from Harvard claiming that this was unconstitutional retaliation. Thank you for listening to today's broadcast. Revolutionary greetings from the Voice of the Worker.